Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're doing something really cool. We're going behind the scenes at Notion. We're going to see how one of the world's most popular all-in-one tools actually runs its own global company. It's a fascinating look into a company that really lives and breathes its own philosophy. So yeah, let's just dive right in. So here's the big question, right? Does a company that promises to replace all your tools actually use its own product to run its entire global business? I mean, everything from hiring to marketing to company goals? Well, today we're going to find out. Okay, so first things first, let's set the stage here. We need to talk about a problem that, let's be honest, pretty much every team on the planet can relate to. And that's just the absolute chaos of modern work. I mean, does this list sound familiar to you at all? You've got information silos, disconnected tools, you're constantly switching between 10 different apps just to get one thing done. It's that classic tool overload, right? It leads to subscription fatigue, and it just feels like your software is making your job harder, not easier. And really, here's the bottom line. Your team's most important knowledge ends up being scattered absolutely everywhere. This just means you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, all just trying to connect the dots. It's the core friction of how so many of us work today. So, what's the alternative to all this chaos? Well, Notion's philosophy is pretty interesting. It's not just about buying another tool. It's a totally different way of thinking. Their whole philosophy is about building, not just buying. And they really put their money where their mouth is with this practice called dogfooding. You've probably heard that term before, right? It's a classic in the tech industry. All it means is that you use your own product day in and day out to run your own company. I mean, what better test is there to prove your product actually holds up in the real world? And this quote on screen, it just nails their whole idea. Instead of buying a dozen different apps, what if you could build your own? It's a huge shift in thinking, right? From just using software to actually creating the exact systems you need. And the most powerful part, you don't have to write a single line of code to do it. Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But, talk is cheap. We need to see the proof. So let's dive into 3 very real, very specific examples of how Notion runs its own critical business operations using Notion. All right, first up, the good old company wiki. You know the drill. Where's the benefits info? What are the company goals this quarter? Who's on what team? Usually, that stuff is scattered all over the place. The Notion solution? A single central company wiki. One homepage for everybody. But here's the keys. This is not some static document that goes out of date in a week. No, it's a living, breathing system. So you land on a welcoming homepage, sure, but that links out to powerful databases for things like team directories or company-wide goals. And what's really smart is that every single team builds and maintains their own section. That's how it becomes the real one-stop shop, the true source of truth for how they work. Okay, example number 2, hiring. Oh man, recruiting can be such a mess, right? You're trying to track applicants across spreadsheets, endless email chains, maybe some other expensive app. It's a classic problem. Notion solution? They built their own unified recruiting tracker. And this is where you really see the power of these flexible building blocks. So each candidate gets their own dedicated page. All the notes, resumes, feedback, it's all right there. But here's the magic. They can instantly view that entire database as a Kanban board. So you can literally see every single stage of the interview process and just drag and drop candidates through the pipeline, giving hiring managers this perfect, real-time overview. And for our last example, let's look at something that is the absolute lifeblood of any modern marketing team, their editorial calendar. Managing content is this complex dance of ideas and drafts and deadlines. It is so easy for things to fall through the cracks. They manage this entire workflow with a single, dynamic database. So check out how powerful this is. Each content idea starts as its own entry. Then you just add properties to track everything, the status, the author, the publish date, you name it. And with a single click, the team can switch between a calendar view, a Kanban board, or just a simple table. But the real game changer is that the actual writing and editing, it happens inside the Notion page. The work is never separated from the plan. Okay, so we've seen the wiki, the hiring tracker, the content calendar. What's the big takeaway here? What's the real payoff of this whole all-in-one build-it-yourself advantage? Well, it really boils down to 3 huge benefits. You've got consolidation, which is massive. Think of all the different tool subscriptions you can replace. Then there's flexibility, which is all about making the tools work for you, not the other way around. And maybe most important is empowerment. You're giving your teams the ability to solve their own problems on the fly. And this is why all of this matters so much. You get one source of truth, which ends that endless hunt for information. You get way more flexibility because your tools adapt to your team. Your teams feel empowered because now anyone can build a solution to their own problem. And yeah, let's not forget, you end up reducing costs by getting rid of all those extra software subscriptions.
So, we're going to leave you with this final thought, because really, this isn't just a story about Notion. It's a question for all of us about how we work. It asks, what if your team could build the exact tools it needs without writing a single line of code? What could you accomplish then?